The events begin in a city on an island built from carbon fibers, adhesive material, and metal magic. And this island is known as the Northern District because in the past it was inhabited by half-monsters, demons, and vampires. And we learn from their speech that he is a powerful and eternal being, so the government decided to establish laws to prevent conflict between them. And one day, we see the news talking about the appearance of the fourth progenitor of vampires, and we learn from their speech that he is a powerful and eternal being with 12 demons under his service. After that, we see Kojo sitting in the restaurant with his friends like Ensaji, so they can help him finish his studies because he missed many tests throughout the year. And then, going out, he discovers that he doesn't have money for the train, so he decides to walk home in the peak of the heat. While walking, he notices a girl behind him constantly watching him, so he enters a mall and tries to shake her off, but he notices from her clothes that she is from the same academy, and when he finds her stuck to him, he reads and goes out to see who it is, and he is surprised that she is calling him by the name of the fourth progenitor. So quickly, he speaks Italian and pretends not to understand her speech, and he leaves her and walks away. And then while he is walking, he notices that some guys are following her, and one of them is trying to harass her, so our chivalrous hero prepares to defend her, but he is surprised that she is an attack mage and managed to stop them in their tracks. But the problem here is that they turn out to be fourth-class vampires. One of them decides to summon his personal demon in broad daylight, and because of this, the alarm system is triggered and tells the humans to evacuate the area. After that, the girl takes a stance of attack using the spear she has with her, but the vampire scoffs at her, yet he is surprised that she can defeat the demon with utmost ease, and also prepares to finish him off personally. But at that moment, Kojo quickly intervenes and tells her that's enough. Here, the girl becomes certain that he is Kojo because no ordinary person could stop her strike so easily, and she tells him that he shouldn't have stopped her from killing him because the vampire used magic and also summoned a demon in a public area, and this is considered a violation of the sacred treaty. But Kojo keeps provoking her, so she gets annoyed and leaves. And before he leaves, he also notices that her wallet has fallen on the ground, so he takes it and learns from it that her name is Yukina. And on his way home, he says to himself that he was living a normal life just 3 months ago before he became the fourth progenitor, and they still don't really understand what exactly happened to him. And the next morning, he goes to the academy to look for Yukina and pretends and asks about another person. And when he doesn't find her present, he keeps looking in her wallet for anything that could lead him to her. And suddenly, once, a bloodthirst takes control of him, but he quickly manages to suppress it. And at that moment, Yukina appears, and the first thing, she sees his blood on the ground. She tells him, "You look really dangerous." She asks him to give her her wallet, but he says to her, "Wait, not until I first find out why you were watching me yesterday?" So she is surprised that he was able to detect her and prepares to take it from him by force. And at that moment, her stomach makes a sound, so Kojo realizes that she is hungry since yesterday, just like him. So he feels sorry for her and returns her wallet. After that, we see the two of them in the restaurant, and there they learn that she was living in the village of the first sages, and that she is affiliated with the Lion King organization, which is a secret agency whose goal is to prevent magical disasters. And she tells him that the organization sent her to the demon island to monitor him, and this is because the power of the fourth progenitor that he possesses is equivalent to the army of an entire country, and they suspect that he is living on the demon island specifically and hiding his true identity, meaning because he is planning its catastrophe. And here Kojo says to her, "Take it easy, you," and lets her know that he has been living on this island for a long time and wasn't born a vampire from the start. He was an ordinary human. So Yukina tells him that it's impossible for a normal human to turn into a vampire. No, and from a progenitor who gains immortality from the secret of the lost spell. So Kojo explains to her that he met the fourth progenitor, Aurora, and she is the one who chose him as her replacement, but he isn't able to remember how this happened or why. So Yukina tells him that she believes him and informs him that the Lion King organization asked her to eliminate him if she felt he was dangerous. But she, however, will help him control his abilities and informs him that she will stay with him step by step wherever he goes. After that, we then return to a flashback and see a human city under the water. Suddenly, that water turns into fire, and we see Kojo fighting the fourth progenitor, Aurora, begging her not to do what she intends to do to him. But she tells him that she has fulfilled the wish he requested before. Now it's his turn to repay her for what she did. And after that, her spirit enters into him, and he inherits her power from her. We then return to another flashback for Yukina before she travels to the Demon District, and we see her sitting with the 3 leaders of the Lion King organization, and we learn from their speech that many years ago, 3 human rulers managed to make with one holy woman common, a pact with the 3 progenitor vampires. But now, with the appearance of the 4th progenitor, there is a possibility that the agreement will be suspended and a disruption will occur. And then humans will enter into a full-scale war with vampires. And because of this, they assign her the mission of monitoring Kojo and eliminating him, if necessary. And they give her this spear. And this is one of the strongest attack spears used against demons. And we then return again to Kojo, who the first time he leaves the house finds her waiting for him in his face. She lets him know that she lives in the same building as him, and even in the apartment next to his. And when he goes up to help her arrange her belongings, he finds that she hasn't brought anything, roughly saying to him that she will sleep on the floor temporarily and then will go buy the necessities. So Kojo understands that she won't be able to get anything because she will be with him always to monitor him. So he repeats, in a chivalrous move like this, that he goes with her today to buy the things she wants. After that, we see him at the academy handing in exam papers to the teacher, Mina, and we learn that Mina is not just his teacher. No, she is a powerful attack mage, and one of the few humans who knows that Kojo is the 4th progenitor. Here, Mina suddenly asks him about the demon attack that happened in the city yesterday. So he lies to her and tells her that he doesn't know anything. So she tells him then, be careful and don't let anyone discover your true identity. And before she leaves, Kojo asks her if she knows anything about the Lion King organization. So she is surprised the first time she hears the name, and they learn that they are their rivals as attack mages. And at the same time, they are considered enemies of the Naturals, and he must avoid any place where there are members of that organization, or they will finish him off. Not too late for your advice, miss. After that, we see him with Yukina in the mall, and she doesn't know most modern tools and thinks they are weapons, and this is because of the simple village she was living in. When the two of them arrive at the house, Kojo is surprised that Natsusa, his sister, knows Yukina because they are classmates in the same middle school grade and met yesterday at the academy. And here, Natsusa offers her to have lunch with them today, and the 3 of them gather. And while Natsusa is preparing lunch, Yukina sits helping Kojo solve math equations, and this despite her still being in the middle school grade. And during their conversation, Yukina takes out a picture of Kojo with the basketball team, so she asks him if he still plays or not. And when she learns that he left the team, she thinks that his transformation into the 4th progenitor is the reason, but he lets her know that he quit before that and begins to tell her that he was the best one on the team, and this matter made him a very arrogant person to the extent that all people distanced themselves from him. And when he realized the truth of what he had reached, he decided to quit the game and be a better person. And here then, the incident of his transformation into the 4th progenitor happened to him, and in the beginning, he thought of using the new ability to solve the world's problems and eliminate corruption, but he realized that the consequences could be worse, and he lets her know that the power of the 4th progenitor is not under his complete control, but he still tries to live a normal life like the rest of humans. And after they finish lunch, Yukina returns to her apartment at night. Kojo goes down again to buy some things, and as soon as he opens the door, he finds Yukina in his face, dripping with water because she ran from under the shower, and she says to him, "My foot on your foot, boss." And on the way, he asks about her family, so she lets him know that all the children in her village are orphans, and this is because the organization that she belongs to buys them from their parents and teaches them to be mages. And suddenly, she cuts off her speech and stops to look at a box of toys and tells him that she loves this toy and has beautiful memories of it. So he understands that she wants one and tries, meaning to get it for her. Here then, Mina appears and asks them what they are doing at an hour like this outside the dorm, and suddenly, Kojo notices an explosion happening in a nearby place, so he takes Yukina and goes running to see. Seeing the explosion, he understands that it is a demonic fire. Here, Yukina takes her weapon and tells him to wait for her, and she will go deal with it, warning him from Brahm intervening, because any wrong move he makes could cause a disaster. And before he replies to her, she jumps onto the train and arrives at the place of the fire, and there, she sees a demon with its master, the vampire who summoned it, so she runs to try to stop it, but she discovers that the vampire used magic originally to defend himself, and when she reaches him and sees the person attacking him up close, she asks him to leave the vampire alone, because this is considered a violation of the laws of mages. But this person also insists on killing him, so Yukina quickly prevents him in the nick of time. She prepares herself for battle, and here we learn that this person's name is Rudolph, and that he is an exorcist in the European Royal Church, attacking demons and vampires vampires for a reason we will know after a while. Yukina then uses a spell on her spear and clashes with him, and although her power astonishes Rudolph, he manages to wound her quickly. He asks his creature named Starty to fight her, so Starty uses a strong spell that paralyzes her movement, and before she finishes her off, Koju comes to save her in the nick of time. After that, Rudolph goes back to leave the island and leave without problems, but the other refuses, and Starty also gets up again and uses her demonic fist against Kojo, who suffers a fatal injury that makes him bleed from everywhere. But suddenly, he keeps screaming, and a tremendous power comes out of him. And yes, it's the power of the fourth progenitor, ladies and gentlemen. And here, Rudolph, when he sees what is happening, gets himself together and asks Starty to withdraw him quickly. And the next morning, we see the police at the place, and they say on the news that a violent explosion happened yesterday, and it seems it was due to a huge lightning strike of unknown origin. And although it didn't cause any casualties, it resulted in losses of about 50 million yen. After that, we see Koju with Yukina in the street, and she tells him that if they found out he was the cause of those losses, he would remain for about 500 years like this, paying fines to be able to cover them. But Kojo then is concerned about something else and asks her if she was going to inform the organization's leaders about what happened yesterday. So Yukina says that he was defending herself and lets him know that she will testify for him before the organization, but she also remains worried that they won't believe her, and then Koju will be harmed. After that, she says that he exaggerated greatly in using his power yesterday, so he lets her know that what happened wasn't under his control or under his command, and he explains to her that he inherited the demons of the fourth progenitor from Aurora, but the 12 demons still don't accept him as their master. So Yukina asks him if he knows the reason that makes the demons not accept him until now. So he tells her that he is a vampire in name only, but he still hasn't sucked anyone's blood. He is human, basically, and because of this might be the reason that makes them not accept him. And at that moment, Yazi arrives and says to him, "What is this terrifying talk that this little girl is saying in the morning?" So Koju introduces her to him and refuses to tell him who she is, letting him know that she is a friend of his sister Natsusa and lives next to them. After that, we then go to the class act, Kojo, and we learn that Sashi works as a part-time programmer with the island company, and she was the one originally responsible for the system malfunctions that happened yesterday. And here Saji asks him about the girl who was with him yesterday, and jealousy from Yukina becomes apparent on her, and before Kojo replies to her, suddenly they hear a commotion and kids talking about a new student who came to the school, and one of them goes to Kojo and shows him her picture, and of course they are talking here about Yukina. And at that moment, Mina comes to ask him to come to her at the guidance office, him and Yukina, so she can know the reason that made them go out together late yesterday. So everyone, when they hear this, resents him, and Saji, the door, gets up cutting off the history report that she had made for him, the failed one. And in the guidance office, Mina tells them that the attack that happened on a vampire yesterday in the square has been repeated like it's 6 times in the last 3 months, and she proceeds to show them the victim's files. So Kojo and Yukina find a picture of the vampires who tried to harass Yukina, and she lets them know that the criminal who attacks vampires still hasn't been arrested. No one until now knows exactly who he is, and thus, there is a possibility that he will attack Kojo too. And because of this, she wants him not to move again, at night without permission. And before he leaves, Mina calls Yukina and gives her the toy that she wanted. And while they are leaving, Yukina tells him it seems that Mina and the police don't know anything about Rudolph, and that we are the only ones who faced him and came out victorious over them. So Kojo asks her, "You didn't tell anyone about them?" So Yukina says that Rudolph the Exorcist in the European Royal Church, and thus an international crisis will happen. Plus, if they face him, he will talk about what happened with Kojo and will definitely deny what he did. But if they reach any evidence against him, then, only then, will they be able to catch him. At the same time, we see Rudolph putting Starty inside a solution tube, strangely like this, and we return again to Kojo and Yukina, and she tells him that she wrote down all the places and churches that Rudolph could be hiding in his capacity as an exorcist, meaning. So Kojo tells her that he might not have left the island at all. So she tells him that they then need to know the location of the main office of all the companies that the city of Rudolph established on the island, and she tells him that they might get help from the Lion King organization, but this matter will definitely take time. So Kojo tells her that the administration of the island company might have data on all these companies, and here he remembers Saji, so he goes to her and begs her to help him because this matter is life or death. She agrees to help him actually, and And after she searches, she tells him that the European city that Rudolph lives in withdrew all its companies from the island. So he asks her to search in the names of the companies that withdrew. And here they find a factory belonging to one of their companies still present in the north of the island. And he learns from it that most of the research of that company was about homo creatures, one of which is Starty. And here Kojo and Yukina confirm that this is the required place, and go to it actually. And at that time, Yukina tells him to wait for her, and she will enter to deal with it. But he refuses to let her be exposed to danger like the last time. And when they enter, they find the door locked. So Yukina uses magic and opens it easily. And when they enter inside, they are surprised by a large number of tubes that have homo creatures inside them. And here, Starty appears to them to warn them that they must escape immediately because this island will sink completely as soon as it loses its cornerstone. And of course, they don't understand a word from her. After that, they hear the voice of a man in trouble, and he tells them that this cornerstone is the treasure he has been searching for years. And now he finally possesses the power that will enable him to obtain it, and the credit for all this goes to Yukina. As for that part, we will understand it later. The important thing is that Kojo, when he hears this speech, gets angry and asks him if he implanted a demon inside Starty. So Rudolph says to him, yes, of course, demons have always served vampires. I, however, created homo creatures that host demons inside them, and these demons continue to feed on their souls and take from their energy, and after a while the creature dies. But Starty lived a longer period because of the demons I defeated. Here, Yukina then says to him, meaning Starty is the one who attacked the vampires on the island. Isn't that so? So he says to her, yes, so that Starty can use their demons as meals for her demon. And here Kojo loses his temper, and the power of the fourth progenitor comes out of him. And this time, the man doesn't run away. It turns out he is the one who wanted to anger him. He asks Starty to use her power and finish him off. So Starty transforms into a giant demonic creature. And at that time, a strike from Kojo, directed at her, doesn't affect her at all. On the contrary, she throws him to the ground with force, and he loses consciousness. Yukina uses her spear quickly, but she is shocked that Starty uses the same technique found in her spear, but in a stronger form. And Rudolph then says to her that no one knows this technique except the Lion King organization, and he managed to steal its data in his previous confrontation. And we understand then what he meant when he said that Yukina helped him without knowing. Yukina is shocked by what she hears and feels guilty because she is the cause of what happened to Kojo. Here, Rudolph quickly delivers the finishing blow to her. But at that moment, our hero intervenes and takes it for her. And from the intensity of the blow, his head separates from his body and blood floods the place. At this time then, the man with utmost coolness tells Starty to come with him so they can go get the treasure quickly because there is no time left, and he leaves, leaving behind Kojo, whose fate we still don't know. After that, we go to Saji, who is sitting in front of the computer working, and suddenly she feels an earthquake, and an alert comes to her that there is an attack on the central support building for preventing disasters. And we know that those who did this, of course, are Rudolph and Starty. And we return again to Kojo, who we find has returned safe and sound again. And when he wakes up, he asks Yukina how he is still alive. So she tells him that after the man left, his blood and head returned to his body again, and nothing happened. And she tells him also that he shouldn't have saved her because she is just a tool her family dispensed with her, and if she died, no one would be sad for her. But he says to her no, and before he finishes his speech, suddenly an earthquake occurs, and he learns from the news that the central support room has been attacked. So he tells Yukina that he must help Saji because she is definitely besieged now. Immediately, he calls her and says to her, I know the two who attacked you, and they just killed me a little while ago. Tell me then, where exactly have they reached? So she tells him that they are now on their way to the gate of the cornerstone that connects the four directions together. And its name is the Gigafloat. And the Gigafloat is a thing whose only task is to absorb any earthquakes that happen on this island. And this is so that it doesn't disintegrate and break. And at that moment, Saji tells him that there has been a breach in the protection system. So Kojo feels that it is too late and tells Yukina that they won't be able to do anything now except try to evacuate the island of its population as quickly as possible before it begins to collapse. And here, Yukina wounds herself and asks him to suck her blood so that he can control his demons. And at first, Kojo refuses, but she manages to convince him, and he agrees in the end. And we return again to Rudolph, who is reached the cornerstone. And the first thing when he sees it, he keeps laughing like a fool, saying to himself that he has finally reached the sacred treasure stolen from his city's church. He asks Starty to remove the threads wrapped around the treasure, but he is surprised that Kojo and Yukina have reached the place. And we learn then that this treasure is the body of a saint who served the European church. And this is when Rudolph tells them that long ago, there was a person named Itogami who designed their island in this dangerous location because he was convinced that it is a distinguished location that increases human wealth. And for the island to stabilize, he linked the sacred beasts, the four, together. But at that time, he faced a problem in resources and in linking the yellow dragon, the leader of the four beasts. So he was forced to use black magic and stole the saint's body from their church so that he could perform the rituals through it. And the man ends his speech by saying that he decided to return the stolen sacred artifact to them at any cost. Here Kojo then says to him, "You are right, and what happened was wrong, really. But still, you, in order to retrieve your artifact, don't care about the lives of 500,000 innocent people who are living on this island." Yukina also tells him that he can file a complaint and retrieve his artifact and have it replaced with a stronger and newer cornerstone. But Rudolph here doesn't see before him anything but violence and revenge, so the two of them decide to enter into a fight with him. Here Rudolph notices that Kojo's power has suddenly increased, so he proceeds to use his holy war shield and attacks Kojo with it. But our hero uses magic and succeeds in summoning the fifth demon, whose effect is strong on the man, and from the intensity of its energy, the devices in the place are damaged. But the demon, despite its amazing power, cannot overcome Starty again or break her barrier. But here Yukina reassures Kojo that they have succeeded, so don't worry, and she proceeds to use a spell on her spear. And at that time, her strike manages to penetrate the protection barrier, and although a part of the spear breaks, it serves the purpose. After that, immediately, Kojo intervenes with the fifth demon, so the demon Starty also collapses after that. Immediately, Kojo aims at the man with a strike that finishes him off, and thus the two triumph over him and prevent the catastrophe that was about to happen. At night, we see Yaza standing in the academy alone and talking to someone in the form of a crow, and he tells her that Kojo has acquired a blood partner, and he means Yukina, meaning, and he says after that, "It seems our plan is going correctly." Then the bird transforms, the message flies in the air, and we understand from this that Yaze is not just an ordinary student. We return again to Yukina, who is preparing herself to return to the Lion King organization, and tells Kojo that she must do this because she broke her spear and violated a set of orders of the organization. But at that moment, she is surprised that the organization has already sent her the spear again after fixing it, and she understands from this that they want her to continue in her mission as she is. After that, we see a bombing operation in the city, and a half-monster in the form of a demonic beast escaping from the island's police. And when he presses the detonator, nothing happens, so he understands that their plan has been exposed. And at that moment, Mina arrives, and we understand that she is the one who uncovered his plot after she found out that this cat belongs to an organization called the Black Death Emperor. And here, Mina manages to arrest the cat and says to him, "I am forced to leave you to the police to interrogate you because I have lessons tomorrow and I must attend them. Okay, goodbye." And the next day, in the morning, we see Kojo with Yukina and Natsusa on their way to the academy, and he learns from them that they intend to join the cheerleading team in the championship that the academy is holding, meaning. After that, he goes to meet Saji and learns that they have placed them both together in one team in the badminton championship. After that, we see two detectives coming to arrest a person working in a company called Kano Chemical. After that, Mina arrives and says to him, "We found out that you work for the Black Death Emperor." And here this person transforms into a demonic monster and attacks them. But Mina stops him in his tracks, saying to Starty, "Arrest him, why?" So Starty uses her demon, which has become a servant to her, like vampires, and gives him the finishing blow. And thus she becomes, with this, the first homo to own a personal demon. After that, Mina searches in the company's records and learns that they were working on solving an important secret code, but they quickly hid the original sources they were working on. And we return again to Kojo, who suddenly is attacked by two monsters whose shape is somewhat different. So he says to himself that he won't be able to use his power in the school. Here then, Yukina appears and saves him, so Kojo is surprised. How did she know what was happening with him? So she tells him that her Shikigami told her that there is an aggressive magical power near her, and because of this, she moved quickly. And before she leaves, she tells him, "By the way, the monsters that attacked you are Shikigami, and their role is supposed to be delivering messages." But she doesn't understand why they were so aggressive, so he looks around and finds a message on the ground, and Yukina is astonished by the seal on it. And before she knows what seal this is, Saji comes suddenly and thinks it is a love letter from Kojo to Yukina, so she runs out like crazy quickly before she understands what the matter is. After that, Yukina tells him that this message came from Prince Adler, the head of the first progenitor, or nicknamed the Warlord. Here, Koju is surprised why a person of such status would come to their island and send him, in particular, an invitation to the party he is holding, but he decides to go see what it is about and tells Yukina that it is written in the invitation to bring his partner with him. So Yukina hints to him and says to him, "You need a strong one to take care of you and also to know your truth." So he says to her, "Okay, I found her. There is no one but Mina, of course." So she says to him, "Think again." He says to her, "Okay then, I'll take you." And when they arrive home, they find that the Lion King organization has sent Yukina a dress because she doesn't have anything to go with to the party. And at night, the two of them arrive at the yacht where the party is being held. After they enter, they go up to the deck to meet Adler. And at that time, there is a demon attacking them, but Kojo confronts it. And here, Adler then comes out to apologize to them for the strange way he met them. After that, a girl named Sayaka comes to quarrel with Kojo, and it turns out this girl is Yukina's friend, and she is responsible for international magical crimes, but the organization sent her to monitor Prince Adler during his presence on the Demon Island. After that, we go to Saji, who receives a message from someone asking her to decrypt a puzzle and challenges her to do so as quickly as possible. We return again to the party and see Adler asking Kojo and Yukina if they know a person named Chris Gardo, and he lets them know that he was a former soldier in the warlord's army, but he is currently a known terrorist and leader of the Black Death Emperor cult. So Kojo tells him that he has heard about this cult, but to his knowledge, it was destroyed a few years ago, and its leader was eliminated. So Adler replies to him and says to him, "Yes, it happened. I am the one who killed him myself, but that was the old leader, and after him, the survivors of the cult are led by this Gardo guy." And here Kojo then says to him, "So you want to say that this Gardo, his followers, have infiltrated the island, right?" So the other says to him, "God enlighten you. That's what happened." Here Sayaka then intervenes and says to them that this cult is full of half-monsters, and their goal is to cancel the sacred treaty and seize sovereignty from the first progenitor. And the first step they will take is announcing their return by causing trouble in the demon district. Here, Yukina then says to Adler that she will help him in arresting the members of this cult, but on the condition that he keeps Kojo and Sayaka out of the picture so that they don't get harmed. And we return again to Saji, who is sitting solving the code sent to her and says that she is almost finished with it. Suddenly, she finds in front of her name, Laviara, so she is surprised by what is written. And the next morning, Saji's head is tired. She goes to Kojo's room to ask him about his relationship with Yukina. And at this time, Yukina sees them, so she gets upset too and runs out. Kojo then goes after her to the academy and explains to her that she has misunderstood. And on the way, he asks her what she intends to do with the Black Death Emperor cult. So she tells him that she will ask Mina and will definitely find information about them with her. And they go to her office, and there, Yukina asks about Gardo's location, and they let her know that they met Adler yesterday, and he told them about what he is doing. And here the two of them see Starty with her, and are surprised. So Mina lets them know that she has been sentenced to 3 years of service after defeating Rudolph, and she decided to take her with her because she wanted a loyal servant. And she says to them, "Let's return to our topic again. My advice to you is not to get involved in this Black Death Emperor cult matter." And the cult is now searching for an ancient weapon that they won't be able to use. So Kojo says to her, "What weapon is this?" So she lets him know that it is the weapon of the ancient sages, and it is said that it destroyed countless civilizations. And the information on using this magic is written on a stone discovered among ancient artifacts, but no one has been able to decipher its code until now. And recently, a suspicious research company came to the island and stole this stone, but she reassures them that they won't know how to decipher its usage code because no one in the whole world has been able to decipher its code as she told them. Sayaka then says, "I greet you and tell you it happened," and continues her speech and tells them that she has information confirming that the weapon itself is present in a hideout inside the island, specifically in a place called the Subfloat. After that, Mina warns them about Adler because he is a mad person and has previously exterminated 2 of the second progenitor vampires, so Kojo must be more cautious of him than anyone else. After that, our hero goes to Saji and asks her to search for him about the ancient Nala weapon, and the first time she hears its name, she tries to remember where she heard it before. After that, she hacks into the system of the company that was affiliated with Gardo and shows him a picture of the Nala weapon and lets him know that the weapon is a machine somewhat like a spider. After that, they go out and he begins to explain to her the story of the stolen stone and the code on it, so she remembers the message and the code that came to her, and she runs out to check on something. And at that moment, Kojo is surprised by an attack on him from Sayaka, who says to him that he is exploiting her only friend, endangering her life. And in this attack, she manages to wound him. And of course, the mighty power of the fourth progenitor is triggered at that moment. At that moment, Sayaka has returned and stands right in front of him. And here, Kojo, when he tries to control his power, the power increases insanely to the extent that the buildings around him are affected. Saji is thrown and falls to the ground, losing consciousness. But Yukina has come quickly and manages to stop what is happening. After that, she scolds her friend and Kojo for what they did, and I don't know what's wrong with Kojo at all. After that, she and Natsusa take Saji to the nurse's office to treat her, and we discover that Starty is also the nurse. You, Mina, are employing you in how many jobs? After that, Saji wakes up and all she remembers is that she tried to attack Kojo and asks Yukina if she knows why her friend did this. So Yukina tells her that. It seems she is jealous of him, so Saji thinks she is jealous of him because of her. And we return again to the place of Kojo and Sayaka, who are sitting in the same place until Yukina returns. And when Sayaka talks to him, she discovers that he is a vampire of the good type and didn't mean to endanger her friend in all this, so she respects him greatly. And at that moment, they hear a strange sound, and we see Starty saying that they must leave the place immediately because intruders from monsters have entered the building. And indeed, there are two monsters with them. And Gardo, the leader of the Black Death Emperor, storms the place. They have come to take Saji with them. And here Starty tries to summon a demon to defend herself, but Gardo quickly points the gun at her, and Kojo and Sayaka hear the sound of gunfire. So they go out, running towards its source, and of course they find Starty floating in her blood. At the same time, we see Yaze sitting outside and suddenly sees them kidnapping Yukina, Saji, and Natsusa. So he runs after Gardo's car to catch up with it. He uses a capsule that increases his speed and learns that they are going on the road to the airport, meaning that Gardo will take them and get them out of the island. And when they reach the plane, Yaze learns that he won't be able to track them in this way. So he says, "I don't care anymore," and swallows the whole box of capsules at once. And after that, he screams. So a specter resembling him comes out and goes after the plane. But suddenly, this specter is intercepted by magic, and it turns out Adler is the one who did this. He says to Yaze, "What is this? You have the ability to control sound? This is a very rare ability." And before Yaze understands what is happening, suddenly Adler directs a very strong blow at him that explodes the place and throws him into the water. And we go after that to the girls and find them. Natsusa has lost consciousness, and Yukina is very worried about her. So Saji tells her that Natsusa's health condition is not the best, and this is because she suffered a serious injury in the train accident that the demons blew up 4 years ago. And she tells her also that all that is happening to them is because of her when she managed to decrypt the code that was sent to her, and she doesn't know what her friends are. And at that moment, Gardo enters and tells her that he wants her to analyze the control command specific to the Nala weapon, and he lets her know that they sent the same code decryption message that reached her to more than 150 professionals, and no one among them was able to solve the puzzle except her. So Saji tells them that what they want will make the world enter a full-scale war, but he doesn't care about her speech and says to her, "You solved the first code commands, and now I want you to solve the activation transfer commands written here." So the girl lets him know that if she activates it, they won't be able to control it. But he says to her, "It doesn't matter, let it destroy the city now," as Saji is solving the control code at her own pace. After that, we see Kojo and Sayaka together in the car, and we learn that she managed to save Starty from death. And here Sayaka asks him if he is sure that the road they are on is the correct one that will lead them to Yukina, meaning. So he says to her that Mina is the one who told him that the Black Death Emperor base is here. He is confident, meaning that Yukina and the girls are close from there. And suddenly, they find the road in front of them closed by security forces because there is an attack and no one is allowed to pass. So he gets out of the taxi. And here, Sayaka asks Koju about what he intends to do. So he says to her that he is forced to confront them, but he will use only one demon, which is the fifth demon, and this is because it is the only one among all the demons that accepted him as its master when he sucked Yukina's blood. After that, he carries Sayaka and flies with her to the other side, and before he falls into the water, Sayaka saves him. And at that moment, Mina appears, and the attack increases. And here Adler also appears, saying to them that they shouldn't have gotten involved from the beginning and implicated themselves. Suddenly, they find in front of them the Nala weapon. They know that it is the cause of the destruction happening. We return again to Gardo, who receives the news. And here, Yukina asks him about his relationship with Adler and why he helped him, meaning in what he is doing. And we learn that she discovered the matter on her own when she saw Gardo's servant now, and remembered that she saw him with Adler.
So Gardo tells her that Adler is a narcissistic person, and all he cared about was the weapon appearing so he can destroy it himself as a kind of entertainment at the expense of the island and the people on the island, and he found it an opportunity to achieve his goals. And after he finishes his speech, he goes out, and here then the spirit of one of the sages possesses Natsusa's body and tells Saji that she has time to fix what happened. And we return again to the Mad Adler, who is standing amazed by the ability of the Nala weapon and says, "This is the entertainment I was waiting for." So Kojo says to him that he should take his yacht and escape, but the other lets him know that Gardo stole it and says to him that he has nothing but Yaze, who saved him and brought him to him, and he is also a tool. He also asks him not to worry and that he will destroy the Nala now. After that, immediately, he proceeds to merge two of his demons together, and this becomes a rare ability that no one else can use. And at this time, Yukina calls Kojo and asks him to intervene. So he goes and says to Adler to step aside because this fight was his right, and if something happens to him, then he will continue. So he says to him, "Hey man, okay, anyway, you will be defeated." And here, Kojo runs towards the weapon at maximum speed and begins to dodge the machine, and before it strikes him, Sayaka intervenes and blocks its attack. And we learn that her weapon can transform into a sword that cuts anything, and she begins to cut parts of the machine, but when she reaches its top, her weapon suddenly doesn't penetrate it. And here Adler understands that the machine has analyzed the way the weapon works and managed to adapt to it and developed its abilities, and they say that they didn't call it the weapon of the sages for nothing. After that, the machine attacks Sayaka and then rises and performs a scan of the place and prepares to finish them off. So Kojo stands up using magic and directs a reverse strike at it that pushes the machine with force to the extent that it makes it penetrate the ground insanely. And because of what happened, Kojo and Sayaka fall into the pit too, and they are surprised that the machine has come out of the rubble and is repairing itself. So Kojo takes Sayaka with him and they try to search for an exit quickly. And we return again to Saji and see her in front of the computer analyzing the machine's data and its elements, and she discovers that the machine is encrypted in computer language. She won't be able to decrypt it, and she says to herself that as soon as she discovers the technology it is encrypted with, she will be able to finish it off with utmost ease. At the same time, we see Yukina sneaking and killing two of the guards, and after that, she reaches a room full of weapons of the Nala machine. But she also finds Gardo in her face, and he tells her that even Adler doesn't know about the existence of this number of weapons with him. So she understands that this was Gardo's plan from the beginning, which is that he exploits the fool Adler and his delusion that it is one machine, only while he has a large number of them. And at that moment, Gardo transforms into a monster and is able to repel Yukina's attack with all ease. He lets her know that he is able to use the power of life energy, so she keeps attacking him and he repels her attacks until she reaches the surface, and we discover that all of this was on Adler's yacht. And here Gardo is surprised by a distracting attack from Yazi, who arrives in the nick of time. And at the same time, Yukina activates her spear's ability to the maximum level, and from the intensity of her strike, his arm flies off and she thinks that she has defeated him. But she is surprised by a number of Nala machines around her and understands that he has become able now to control them. Here, Gardo tells her to surrender because there is no other solution left for her, and we return again to Kojo and Sayaka and discover that they have reached a dead end, so they go back again. Here the girl then gets an idea and says to our hero that there is no solution before them except that he sucks her blood and brings out a new demon. After that, we see Yaze with Adler, and Yaze says that Saji has definitely reached a solution for the control code, and because of this, Gardo is able to use the army of machines, and suddenly he sees in front of him the 9th demon that Koju managed to summon because of Sayaka's blood. And here Gardo also sees the demon from his place, and at the same time, Mina arrives and uses her magic against the monsters that were facing Yukina. After that, she goes down to tell Yukina that she will take Natsusa and Saji with them to treat them. So Yukina tells her that she will also go now to join Kojo in the battle, but that moment she sees Kojo's new demon finishing off the Nala machines with all ease. Suddenly, a call comes to Saji's phone that is with Yukina, and the person talking to her tells her about the weapon control commands number 55. And at that time, Gardo hears what is being said in the call. At Kojo's place, he is standing with Sayaka after they manage to get out of the pit, and here the girl tells him that they didn't have to come out now and that this is dangerous for them. And at that moment, indeed, they find an attack coming at them from the Nala machines that Gardo is controlling himself. And although Kojo uses his demon, the attack is violent. And at that moment, they are surprised by a counterattack on the machines. And it turns out the one who did this is Adler, who saves them at the last moment. After that, he asks Kojo if he will continue fighting or will he leave it to him to intervene. So Kojo says to him, no, of course I will continue. And Yukina also arrives and joins him. And when she learns that he acquired a new demon from Sayaka's blood, she gets very upset and says to him, we will settle accounts later. Let's now focus on the battle. And indeed, the three of them begin to use their power at the same time, but they are surprised that Gardo managed to repel their attack because of the adaptation technology specific to the Nala machines. And they discover that the machines that were all destroyed have repaired themselves and become stronger than before. So they say to themselves, how can they finish them off in this way? Here, Yukina then says to them, don't worry, because when Saji was manufacturing the control commands for Gardo, she created a self-destruct command in secret, and to activate it, they need to take Saji's phone with them to the control unit and play an audio file of the new command. Here, Kojo says to them that to do this, they must make all the machines stop moving. So Sayaka says to them, leave this matter to me. She uses her demon-slaying bow specific to her and activates her spell, paralyzing the movement of the machines. And at the same time, Kojo uses the destructive attack against Gardo's machine. So Gardo comes out of the machine. Boom! He finds Yukina in his face, and a strike from her and a strike from Kojo. He finds himself greatly humiliated. And at that moment, Yukina activates the command next to the control center, and all the machines are completely destroyed, and thus the three triumph over Gardo. After that, we go to Adler and see the third leader of the Lion King organization coming to see him, handing him a signed letter agreeing to his request. And we learn here that Adler had submitted a request to establish an embassy for the sovereignty of the first progenitor, and of course in the Demon District. After that, we see a royal vehicle burning in the air, and a woman named Patres appears. We learn that she is the one who burned it. And when the vehicle's commander says to her that what she did is a crime, she tells him that she warned him from the beginning and asked him to hand over the princess immediately. After that, she directs a strong blow at him, but he blocks it with the sacred sword specific to the Dia kingdom. And at that moment, one of the monsters comes and tells her that he searched everywhere and didn't find the princess, and it seems she has escaped from them. So Patris decides to summon one of the masked ones, and when the person who was facing Patris sees her, he can't believe himself from the shock. After that, we see Kojo talking to Yukina and telling her that Sayaka, since she traveled to the organization, keeps calling him every now and then for trivial reasons, to the extent that he hasn't been able to sleep because of her. So Yukina tells him that Sayaka never hated anything in her life as much as phones, and she understands here that her friend is also interested in him, so she gets upset. After that, Saji comes to tell him to come to the art room, and there she asks him to wear a suit so she can draw him, and the two of them joke and take pictures together. And when he goes out, Yukina calls him and tells him that she saw him with Saji, and it becomes apparent that she is very jealous. So Koju says to her that he wants to let Saji know his truth and that he is the fourth progenitor because he endangered her life and she was about to die because of him. And he tells her also that he wishes he was living his life normally. But Yukina understands him that he saved the island twice, so he should be proud of himself. And at that moment, Kojo sees Natsusa standing with a boy alone, and this boy gives her an envelope. So Kojo's mind keeps going back and forth, and suddenly he gets a call from Sayaka telling him that she is coming to their city next week, and this is because the princess of the Dia kingdom is coming to visit them, and she will be her personal guide. So he says to her that she will be busy then and won't be able to meet him and Yukina, and he quickly hangs up in her face. And during this, he sees a fire in a distant place, and in the heart of the fire, we find an injured girl and one of the masked ones flying quickly beside her. The next day, we see Kojo watching over his sister Natsusa, and when he finds her on the roof with the boy she was talking to, with the door closed, he storms the place and discovers that she was talking to this boy to ask him to find someone to take her friend's cat because the Academy administration has banned the entry of pet animals. So he asks her who the owner of this cat is and how did she know her. And here appears a girl named Kana and lets them know that she is the owner of the cat. After that, Natsusa leaves them with Kojo and Yukina Kina so that they can get to know her. And she goes to apologize to her friend for what our hero did. So Kana takes them with her to an old temple and tells them that this is the place where she was raised when she was small. And there they find many stray cats. And Kana brought them to the temple to take care of them. And every period she takes one of the cats and adopts it like the cat she gave to Natsusa. After that, we leave them and go to Yaze and Mina. And we see them standing in front of the girl who was standing on the ground at the time of the fire. And we learn that she is one of the masked ones. Here, Yaze says says that she is supposed to be an ordinary human, but she has transformed into a creature of the masked ones, and that there is another masked one that devoured her shikigami specific to her. And at that moment, Adler arrives and lets them know that the sacred ring ship that belongs to the Dia family has been missing since yesterday, and this might be related to what is happening. And in the end, he warns them from Kojo intervening in this case, because this time the matter will be dangerous for his life. And we return again to Kojo, who we find has adopted Kana's cats, and we learn from the girl who adopted them that the temple where she was raised was close to her house, and that the temple long ago was exposed to a strange accident, and everyone in it died except Kana. She was the only one who survived from it. After that, we discover that Yukina decided to adopt one of their cats. And at that moment, Mina comes to tell them, "You don't know that pet animals are forbidden to enter the building? Anyway, I will let it pass for you this time, but I have one condition." And she asks Ko to meet her at night alone. It's necessary. And at night, we see her taking them with her to the festival like this to let them have fun, and we find Yukina going with Kojo too on the pretext of not leaving him alone, and at the same time meaning to have fun with them. And here Mina asks Kojo if he has heard about what is happening. So he tells her that he saw the fire and at first thought that demons were the cause, but he found out later that the masked ones are the cause. And here Yukina says to them that she is surprised how she didn't get information about their attack before. So Mina tells them that. The same incident has been repeated 5 times in the past 2 weeks, and these creatures are very dangerous to the extent that Yukina's Lion King organization itself couldn't detect their attack, and because of this she asks Koju to arrest them. And during their conversation, the masked ones appear in the air, so Mina asks Starty to give the order to use the fireworks to mislead them, and we understand from this that the whole festival matter was from her planning. And at that moment she tells them to get ready because she will use teleportation magic, and in a fraction of a second they find themselves in another place, specifically in a metal tower close to the guards. And here Yukina discovers that they are using spells and combat techniques similar to those of the ancient people specific to the Lion King organization area, not ordinary magic. So Mina says to Yukina to get ready so they can direct a strong blow at them. Here the girl directs a blow at them with her spear, but it doesn't affect them, and from the intensity of their strikes, the tower begins to shake with Yukina and Mina. So our hero here intervenes quickly and summons the 5th demon, but one of the masked ones confronts the demon's attack with all ease. She prepares to pounce on them, and at that moment another masked one appears and eats her colleague, and during their clash a mask is shattered, and they discover that it was the cute one who was sitting eating her colleague with all savagery. And after she finishes her off, she flies far away and disappears. After that, we see our heroes inside a company named Mishcraft, specialized in manufacturing androids, and we learn that the man named Kin, who adopted Kana after the temple incident, works in this company, and she was living in a room belonging to the company's residences. And while they are walking, Koju confesses to Yukina that he didn't tell anyone about what happened with Kana and will wait until they gather more information about her. And when they enter to ask about Kana, the receptionist tells them that she is not present, so they ask her about Kin, and at that moment, Patras comes out to them and tells them that Kin is not present and has gone on a mission outside the island, and she offers to send them there now if they want, meaning. So the two of them take the bait. After that, a pilot named Lau comes to take them to an isolated island and leaves them and takes off, and at that time, they understand the predicament they are in. Here, Koju then says to Yukina that they were wrong when they didn't know who they were going to, so she tells him that they are then forced to wait until someone finds them and comes to save them. But now they must search for a way to find food and water before sunset. And during their search, they discover forts and guard centers and also find traces of bullets on the ground, so they understand that the island is not completely restricted as they thought. And at the same time, we see Sayaka inside the temple where Kana was raised, meeting their Yaze, who tells her that he is not just an ordinary colleague of Kojo, and he asks her not to tell Kojo and Yukina, and he will let her know his true identity. He tells her also that Kojo is now in a predicament and they must find his place. And at that moment, Saji and Natsusa also come, and when the girl sees Sayaka, she yells at her because she tried to kill Kojo before. And we return again to our hero and see him summoning the 5th demon and making it go down to catch fish for him. But Yukina comes to him and tells him there is no need. She has already found food for them, and this food turns out to be coconuts, my friend. Here, Kojo remembers his sister Natsusa, and it becomes apparent that he is worried about her. He also remembers that he had promised Saji that he would help her today with her project. And at the same time, we see Saji searching for their place until she manages to pinpoint their location exactly. Here, Sayaka tells them that she will talk to her acquaintance in the Coast Guard so they can send them a rescue boat. And we return again to our hero, who wakes up at at night and finds that Yukina is not present, so he goes out to look for her. And at that time, he finds in front of him a girl exactly like Kana, and suddenly this girl disappears. So he tells Yukina about her, and they go to look for her in the forest. Then they find a ship in their way, so they think it is a rescue ship, but they discover that it is a ship belonging to the Mishcraft Company. And when the ship detects their location, it begins to send down armed robots from it and fire at them. So Yukina tells him, Kojo, stay in your place and she will deal with them. And indeed, she manages to finish off 2 of them, but one of them attacks her from behind. So Kojo intervenes quickly and catches up with her. Suddenly he finds robots surrounding them, but the girl they were looking for comes and finishes them off quickly. Then we learn that this girl is the Princess Folia, daughter of the King of Daya, and the robots came originally for her. And here Folia asks Koju to use a demon and sink the ship that the robots came from. And when he tells her that they might use it and get out of the island with it, she tells him that the ship is working remotely and there is a bigger ship controlling it, besides that the more dangerous robots are still inside it. And before she finishes her speech, the robots come out, so Koju without hesitation uses a fortress spell, and after that summons the 5th demon, which and the ship off the face of the earth. At the same time, we see Patries and Kin, and in front of them, Kana is absent, unconscious. And here Kin says that Kana has reached the 7th level, and as soon as she is freed from this level, she will turn into a natural disaster in the full meaning of the word. So Patries here gets angry and says that they thus won't be able to sell her, but Kin sees that she is not for sale and that she will benefit them more if they deal with her as a time bomb that they will use once to destroy everything. Here Patries says that she has brought him 2 pieces of news, better than each other. First, that the 4th progenitor has come under their control, and second, that they have detected the presence of Princess Folia on the same island. And we return again to Koju, who learns that Folia is the princess whom Patries attacked, and she is on her way to their island. And here the princess lets them know that Mishcraft is chasing her to possess her because of her royal blood, and she lets them understand that Kin was the court mage of her father, and because of this, all the magical technologies he uses require royal blood. Here Kojo asks her about the resemblance between her and Kana, so she lets them know that Kana is her aunt because her grandfather married Kana's mother on one of his trips and wasn't known to anyone until. Folia learned of her existence and that Kin reached her before them and took her and raised her, and this is because of her royal blood as well. After that, he performed masked experiments on her, and this is something invented by Kin to transform some humans into supernatural creatures with great invincible ability. And at that moment, Yukina sees a ship coming from afar, so Koju prepares to destroy it too. But Yukina quickly stops him when she sees the white flag. And here we see Kin coming down from the ship, so Folia asks him about Kana's location. He lets her know that she is in preservation, and he just conducted research on her and developed 7 masks from her blood, but Kana ate the shikigami of 6 of them, and none remained but her alone, and this made her acquire 6 spiritual ranks. Here, Kojo asks him then about the relationship of the Mishcraft Company, specialized in robots, with these experiments. So Lao is the one who explains to him, saying to him that the company's financial condition was bad and they needed a new project to increase their profits. And at that moment, Patries intervenes and says to Folia, you are the one whose turn is after Kana, and as for Koju, I have brought a surprise for him. And she proceeds to take out a box containing Kana and says, telling him to kill her. Now, because when she defeats him, the price of the masks will increase, and this after they promote that one of them managed to eliminate the 4th progenitor. And at that moment, Kin activates Kana, so she begins to activate her ability. And at that time, Yukina attacks her with a spell of nullification for magic, but it doesn't do anything. Here, Patries says to Yukina, your fight is with me, not with her. And at the same time, there is a monster with them attacking Folia, but suddenly all of them become silent the first moment they hear Kana's scream, who begins to throw destructive shots towards Kojo, who tries to avoid her attack at first. After that, he uses his 5th demon, but she repels his attack with ease, and Kin says to him not to try to resist because her ability exceeds the limits of the special dimension between us with super speed, and no matter how great the power of his demons, it is impossible to face the ability of an entity that doesn't exist in our world at all. Here, Kana directs at Koju a strike that pierces his body, and they all lose consciousness completely. All of them say that the strongest vampire in the world has ended, but at that moment, something strange happens. We see Kana screaming with force and turning into a whirlwind of a destructive, icy tornado. So Kin here is shocked by her going out of control and says to Patries that they must escape quickly. And at the same time, we see the fortress that Yukina made around them begins to collapse. And in another place, we see Sayaka on a Mishcraft ship and finishing off the robots in it. Suddenly, she finds in front of them Minna, who tells them that Princess Folia is safe and present with Kojo and Yukina on the same island. So Sayaka tells her that they must move quickly and save them. But at that time, they see a huge column of ice appearing from the heart of the island, and we discover that the entire island is frozen, including Kana herself. But the surprise here is that Yukina's fortress withstands despite everything and protects them from the tornado. But the problem is that Kojo is still unconscious, and although all his wounds are completely healed, except the place of the blade that Kana shot at him remains as it is and hasn't healed. And here Folia tells Yukina that none of them can approach this blade, and no one can pull it out except a specific demon from Kojo's 12 demons. And to make this demon wake up, Yukina uses her blood, and indeed, Kojo recovers and returns to consciousness, but the demon itself doesn't appear at that time. Kojo discovers what happened to the island, and here Folia explains to him what happened with Kana, and we understand that the girl's consciousness was still present despite losing control of her will, and because of this, she entered a state of collapse, and if they don't save her quickly, she will reach the stage of self-destruction. And to save her, then Kojo must bring out the third demon and use Folia's blood this time. And at that moment, the third demon actually comes out and manages to penetrate the ice barrier. At that time, Kin is shocked that Kojo is still alive, and here Yukina says to him, "How did you get the heart to do this to Kana when you are the one who raised her? She considered you her father." So Kin here says to them, "I am not her father, and that's not all. No, I'm also her uncle, because her mother is my sister." And here we discover that Kin is convinced that he is protecting Kana by turning her into a supernatural being whose abilities exceed human abilities. But Kojo shocks him and says to him that he never thought to ask her if this is what she wanted or not. And at that moment, Petrus attacks them quickly and says to Kojo that he must die now. He must die, or their promotional project will fail. Suddenly, a group of armored masks comes out saying to Kin that she made them behind his back. She will use them in this fight, and after that, she will exploit the publicity of Kojo's death in promoting the new model, and she means here Folia. And at that moment, our heroes say to them, "We have been silent for you since the morning. Come on then, miss, and show us what else you have to say." At that moment, the icy tower breaks, and Kana comes out of it, so Yukina says to him, "Kojo, go, save Kana, and she will deal here." And the first thing she does is that she slaps Petrus's face, so the girl is surprised. She is surprised how a young girl like her defeats her. No, and without her weapon too. And because of this, she calls for Lao, but she is surprised that Folia has finished him off. Here Yukina then says to her to hand over the control device, but the girl refuses to surrender. She uses her weapon in a violent attack against them, but Folia responds to her with a royal spell, and from her weapon comes out a tremendous energy that knocks down Petres. And at that time, the control device flies from her hand, so Yukina goes to get it. After that, Petres is stunned by the spiritual power that Folia summoned, and before she comprehends how she did this, boom, she finishes her off. And at the same time, Yukina also uses the control device and stops the attack of the masks. There is nothing left then but Kana. Here we find Kojo then, constantly trying to restore her consciousness control and remind her of her true self, but Kana doesn't respond easily. So he summons his third demon, which is a two-headed dragon, and we understand from this that this demon needed the blood of both Folia and Yukina together to be controlled. And we also discover that this demon's ability is shattering strange dimensions, and because of this, it succeeds in taking down Kana. But she gets up again thanks to the power of the ancient sages that she obtained from her royal blood. So Kojo says that they have then certainly lost the battle, but Yukina says to him that it didn't happen, and as someone who knows the ancient sages, she uses a spell on her spear and breaks something of Kana's protection. So Kojo's demon then shatters the power of dimensions, and the world is in complete tranquility. After that, the girl returns again to her nature, and at the same time, Sayaka and Mina arrive at the island. Then we see Kin under arrest, and we understand when Yaze interrogates him that he transformed Kana with the aim of making her a weapon against the fourth progenitor, because his appearance without a regulator is considered a great danger. So Yaze says that Kojo is not an evil person, and there is no harm from him, and since his goal turned out not to be that bad, the island company decided to employ him with them and benefit from his expertise. At the same time, we learn that Mina decided to be the one responsible for Kana, as she did with Starty, and thus Kojo's confrontation ends with a new victory, and the world is in complete sweetness. But this, I wonder, what will happen to him after this, and how will he control the rest of his 12 demons? This is what we will know in the next episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Okay, goodbye.